Alright, so like, this is what if Naruto was taken about Madara Part 2. So, like, sorry for the audio in the last one. Like, I know y'all could hear all that popping and stuff. It was kind of weird. So, he left off, they was talking about Naruto was an Uzumaki. Naruto was like, Uzumaki? Who's this Uzumaki they speak of? Then he asked Kurama who's the Uzumaki, he said. And then Kurama was like, well, I don't think you're ready yet, kid. And then Naruto said, ready yet? What do you mean? And he said, you're a commoner. He said, commoner? And he said, what I mean by that is that you're young. You're very, very young. You're not ready yet. And he said, young? I'm not ready yet. And he was like, yes, you're not ready yet. Oh, my fault. He was like, yes, you're not ready yet. You are not worthy. And he said, I'm not worthy. I'm always worthy. Naruto said, Kurama said, get out of my mind. He said, you're in my mind, you goddamn idiot. And that made Kurama mad. Kurama, he was beating on the cage and he just kept smacking. He said, oh, what you gonna do? You gonna attack me? Oh, I'm sorry, you can't. You're locked up in the cage, unlike me. He said, when I get out of this cage, I will take over your body and make you jump off of the building. Well, basically, you're inside my body, so how are you gonna get out of here? He said, when you die, I get out of your body. Oh, I don't think it works like that, Mr. I'm in a cage. Even if you do get out, you're still going to be in that dumb cage. And you can't get out. He said, oh, I'll find a way to get out, you idiot. And he said, oh. Naruto said, oh, okay, that's how you play games. You're in my mind, my rules, he said. No, I do not play by rules. Then Naruto made it start raining on Kurama. And Kurama was like, what is this for? He said, what is this? What is the meaning of this? It's my mind. I can do whatever I want. And then there was a whole bunch of water splashed on Kurama. Kurama was like, what is this? And then Naruto said, oh, you want to be dry? Then he made us like some fire and hit Kurama. And Kurama was like, stop. And like Kurama's fur was burning. And then Naruto splashed some more water on it. He said, I hate you, kid. He said, I can kill you right now with my flames. He said, what flames? Behind you. And then Kurama, it was some flames behind him. He was like, stop, you goddamn kid. And Naruto was like, why should I? Why should I? Why should I? Why should I? He said, because I said so. And you're not worthy of any of my power. And then Naruto left his mindscape. And then Naruto got a mission from Maddara to go kill the Hokage. And Naruto took the mission. And let's just say Naruto got an Ambu mask. And it was like a silver black up Ambu mask. And he went there, he was sneaking. And then he popped up in the Hokage's office, creeping around. And then the Hokage was just doing some work. And Naruto put a knife, a dagger up to his head. And up to his head and said, this is where you end up off for, man. If you scream, you die. If you move, you die. And especially if you don't do anything, you die. So, the 3 dies. So, then he was like, if I can't move, I die. But if I do move, I die as well. Why is that the rules, young man? And then Naruto said, eggs. He said, eggs. Ask that question to hell. And then he killed the Hokage. And then he heard the door was opening, and then he hurried up and ran out before they could see. And then the person ran out of the place. She ran out of the Hokage's office and went to, let's just say, like, I don't know who she ran to. Let's just say she ran into a random person, told them, and then they went to the Hokage's office as well. And then the whole village was informed, and everybody was shocked. They was like, who could have done this? And then Kakashi suspected someone, and that person was Sasuke. Cause let's just say Sasuke, he wanted revenge and all of that, so no, it's not him. Let's say, I don't know how to say. Let's say he suspected. I don't know who he suspected, but anyways, he suspected someone. And Naruto hurried up and got back to Madara's place. Then Ambu saw him and was following him. And he was like, I think that's the person. Then Naruto kept body flickering, and he eventually got there. And the Ambu guy was body flickering too. And then when he got there, he looked in the window and saw that it was Madara. He was like, what? Oh, what is this kid doing at Madara's place? Then Naruto took off his Ambu mask, and he saw that it was Naruto. He was like, Naruto? Naruto, was it what? What? And then Madara was like, has anybody followed you? Naruto said, yes, in fact, so. And he was like, how did you know? And then Naruto hurried up and turned around and threw a shuriken at him. And he hit the Ambu right in the head before he could move. And then Madara was like, oh, you have precision in aim. And he said, I did it from the best. Then Madara said, it's about time that you had your first beer. And let's just say Naruto was still 10 at this point. And then he was like, beer? Don't you think I'm still a little too young? He said, nobody's too young for some beer. And then they started drinking. And then Naruto, let's just say he got a little tipsy. And he was tipsy and stuff. And then Naruto, he fell out. And Madara just left him there. Madara said, I'm not picking him up. And he just left him there. And then, let's just say they were all suspected. Like, everybody got put on a 20-day lockdown. No, not 20 day. Let's just say a week lockdown. It was a week lockdown. And so they couldn't come out for a week. And they gathered all the other evidence, but they couldn't find nothing but yellow hair. Now, let's say they suspected, they suspected people with yellow hair. And all the people with yellow hair had to take like a trial or whatever. And so when they took the trial, 2 people failed and they were both executed because they were suspected. But obviously it wasn't them because it was because it was Naruto. And so they killed some innocent guys. And then the guys were like, it's not me. And then Madara sent him on another mission to kill. Who should it be? To kill the council. Yeah, that's a good one. And then the council didn't even suspect it. Like, Naruto threw 7 shuriken. and it hit all 7 of the councils, and all 7 of the council died. And then nobody knew until 3 days later. And then they left a note that said in. It said in. And then it was a yellow piece of hair on it. He said, this guy's giving us clues. And he said, what a very tricky one. And then they suspected everybody with yellow hair and an N in their name. But first they gave a prayer for the people who were not who were suspected and got killed. And they were saying, we are very much so sorry and all of that stuff. And then they found that 3 of them were suspect and killed all 3 of them. They took a little exam and 3 of them were suspect. And they were like, no, please, no, please, no, it's not us. Then they all got executed. The maddara sent Naruto on another mission to execute. Danzo's already dead. To execute. I'm still thinking it's an over, but execute the next Hokage, which is Tsunade right now. We have Tsunade. And then Naruto, he pranced over there. I said the wrong word. I'm over here thinking I'm drunk. He body flickered over there. He got into the Hokage's office the same way, but it was the guards there. He threw shuriken at them, hitting both of them in the heart, stopping their heart and killing them. He came in through the back way, and he didn't want nobody to suspect. But before he opened it up, it was like inside of it, like it was one way. No, not like that. It was like glass, and like he used his eyes. And he saw that there was multiple guards in there. Then he put on his Ambo mask and ran in there really quick. And they all said prepare to die. He said, from what? And they said, from us. And then he threw a shuriken. And then he threw a shuriken at them. He said, you missed, kid. And then it bounced off the wall, killed one, and then Naruto threw like a whole bunch more, and it killed all of them. And she said, and then Tsunade said, you're skilled, but why are you doing this? He said, take off the mask and confront me now. Then he stepped in front of her and said, I'm Naruto Uchiha, and what do you want? He said, Naruto? He said, you don't know me, Naruto Uchiha. And he said, where have you been? And then he was like, what do you mean, where have I been? I've been with my father. He said, Minato? And then she was like, who's Minato? Not my father. He said, oh, no, Naruto, you were looking at as a baby, and this is your village, this is your home. He said, this is not my home. And then he put back on his armor mask, and then he teleported behind her, and she said, how do you know that move? My dad, Maddara. And she was like, Maddara. Right, and Naruto cut her off as she killed her. And then Naruto noticed that it was cameras. He said, get this in my face. And then he saw how the cameras were angled. They could only see the back of the person. They couldn't see the front. And so Naruto thought he was okay. So he hurried up and ran out and got out of there. The great thing about that is that the cameras, you couldn't hear audio. But the alarm got sound. And then they told everybody about the council and the Hokage. Then Kakashi became the Hokage, he said. And then right when they announced Kakashi as the Hokage, then Kakashi said, I'm not done. I do not want to be Hokage. And then they were like, you have to lead us. And Kakashi agreed to it, but he knew he would regret it. And then, Maddara sent Naruto on another mission to kill the Hokage. And the place was stacked. 4 guards out on the deck where Naruto kept sneaking in from. And the, guards with the door were everywhere. The place was decked out. Guards outside, guards on the building, and Naruto. He teleported right on the deck where nobody could see him. And then he stabbed 2 of the guards, and then he kicked the other 2, making them fall off the deck and dying. And then he teleported inside, threw shuriken at the guards, and then threw shuriken at all of the cameras. And then Kakashi said, don't kill me. And I think I know who you are. He said, you don't. And then he was like, I know who you are. He said, all I gotta do is take off that mask. Take it off now. Then Naruto got in front of him. Took it off and said, huh. He's like, Naruto? And he was like, Naruto? Why are you doing this? Y'all all act like you know me. I'm the son of Maddara Uchiha. None of you know. Actually, as Naruto was about to stab him, he said, Kakashi grabbed his arm and said, actually, you're the son of Minato Uzumaki. And Kakushina, he said, I don't know who those people are. He said, you had the fox sealed into you, right? He said, we don't speak about that despicable fox. And he said, your parents got killed from him. He said, my parent is well alive. He said, who is your other parent? It's Maddara. I never knew my other parent. Because that's not your real parent. How were you born if you didn't have a parent? He said, I think that's tricks. My father just said, she died. It died. And that's true. And then Naruto pushed the thing, and it pierced a little bit of Kakashi's skin. And Kakashi said, don't do this. Kakashi. He was like, Kakashi, or whatever your name is. Just tell him I have a note for him. He said, you're not going to kill me. He said, I won't promise. And as he walked out, he said, just kidding. And threw a kunai at the back of Kakashi's head, killing Kakashi. And Kakashi knew he would regret becoming Hokage. And then they asked the next person who's going to be Hokage to be Hokage, but nobody wanted to become Hokage because what happened to all of them. But they didn't find a clue that said Naruto. No, it said Naru. They was like, Naru? Then they kept talking about it. More yellow hair. It's 3 strangers now. Naruto. And then they were like, okay, we have a suspect. It's Naruto. And then everybody said, Naruto? Who is that? The son of the great fourth Hokage. They said, is that Naruto? You suspect it's him? Why do you suspect that? Because look at this. So that could be anybody. And then Maddara said, did you give them the clue? He said, yes. He said, why did you disobey me? I told you not to give them that big of a clue. I just wanted you to get to Naruto. I don't want you to get that close. They're gonna, they're gonna figure it out. I'm gonna destroy this village tomorrow. Then Ambu got sent out, let's just say, about 50 Ambu North. Let's just say 50 Ambu North, East, 50 each, 50 North, South, East, and West, 50 each. And then it was 50 more sent Northeast and West. And then like Southeast and South, all of that, bro. And it was 50 of them sent all of that way. And then they saw a house. Then they peeked in it and said, oh, we found them. And then they hurried up and held their presents and called the rest of the Amu. So it was 800. No, not 800. Hold on, let me do this math real quick, bro. Hold up, bro. I'm using a calculator. I'm not doing this math, bro. Like, I'm serious. 400 guards got sent, and 400 of them arrived. And then he was like, yeah, I sent 400 presents, well, actually 399, but, and then, they were like, yeah, we have to get out of here. And then Naruto said, luckily, I've been digging. He said, digging for what? It's a thing I like to do. Just in case situations like this happen. I said, it's in my room. And it was a hole under his bed. And Madara picked up the bed and said, go. And then Madara got over the hole, went down, and then got in there. It was like a tunnel, going to their safe location. And then they hurried up and covered it with fake flooring that you could just fall through. And then they hurried up and called and got to their safe house. And then it was about, let's just say, 50 bombs in that house. No, let's just say it was about 100 bombs in that house, but they all looked like regular day items. There was one in the trash can. No, let's just say it was 4 in the trash can, 4 in the oven. And let's just say, like, the toaster was one, it was one in the microwave. It was like they were everywhere. And then Madara said, I've been keeping this up. And then he hit the button, and the whole place blew up, killing at least half of them. So, like, 200 of them died. 250 of them died. So, it was 50 of them left. No. Yeah, it was 150 of them left. It was 150 of them left. It was 150 of them left. And then they hurried up and reported to the Hokage. Well, I forgot. They reported to the village that a whole bunch of them died, and that they can't find Naruto, and then they suspected Naruto, but they thought it wasn't Naruto. Then Naruto said, Dad, I'm going to the village and I'm destroying them. He said, don't you think you should get a little older? He said, I killed about 3 Hokages and 7 most in the whole council. Actually. And then he was like, do you think I'm that weak? He said, you could take down a village. Naruto said, no. Oh, wait. Then Naruto waited 8 years. And then Naruto was 18 by this time. He went there to destroy. Hold up, why am I time skipping this far? Hold up, wait a minute. What am I doing? Let's just say he was 14. Let's just say he was 12 and he was 10. He was a 2-year time skip, let's just say that. And he was 12. He went to the village. And he He said he put on his Ambo mask, and then it was a plane. Naruto had a plane, and he jumped out of it, and it said, "I'm the masked murderer." And then Naruto jumped out, and then you know the big ball move where he float right before he hit the ground. He did that so he wouldn't die. It was a really smart move, but it was so risky that it almost killed him. And then they said it's the mass murderer. It's the mass murderer. He killed 3 Hokages. And then he was like, yes, I am the mass murderer, and I would be here to murder you. And then Sasuke, he went so fast. He was fast, but he wasn't faster than Naruto. He was so fast that he tried to grab Naruto's mask, and he kind of moved it a little bit, but they could only see like half of his eye and a little bit of yellow hair. And then they were like, huh? Ah, that's Naruto, alright. Then they were like, Naruto, take off the mask. We know it's you. He's like, who is this Naruto you speak of? They're like, that's not Naruto? And they're like, oh god, who is it then? And then Naruto said, who is this Naruto you speak of? What's his last name? Uzumaki? And then they're like, yeah, actually, yeah. And then he was like, huh? And then Kurama was like, kid, you've actually been killing your village. He was like, what do you mean? And then he was like, well, I forgot to tell you this. He said, you got, dang it, Fox! You could have told me this. I was killing my own people. He was like, you know Maddara, your father? And he said, yeah. He said, that's not really your father. Your father is Minato. And your mother is Kakushina. He was like, you god dang Fox, you couldn't have told me this. You couldn't have told me this earlier before I slayed my own people. Then Naruto said, I have no choice. I have to kill them. Then Naruto hurried up and body flickered back home and said, I'm killing Madara first. He said, I'm killing my so-called father. He's a little brat. He used me for my power. What he wanted. He said, Naruto, you're happy Uchiha now. Don't you think it's time to become cool? Yeah. Then he went to Madara. He knocked Madara out, took the syringe, took all of Madara's blood and put it in a whole bunch of syringes or whatever, and then injected all of the blood into Naruto. So then Madara woke up even though he had like 1 drop of blood left. He said, what's wrong? And then like his blood was still pumping, and he said, his heart was still pumping. He was like, what is going on? Like, as he kept throwing up blood, he said, what have you done to me, my son? He said, don't give me that act. You know you're not my father, Madara. My real father was actually Minato. I was an Uzumaki. And he said, oh, so you figured out something. The fox! He said, you let it out of your genjutsu? I didn't even put it in a genjutsu. I didn't even feel the reason to it. He said, you didn't obey me. He said, ha, I didn't obey you because I knew something. Flash is a fox. The fox that I knew. Now, I'll be perfectly executed. Because sorry, fox. I'll be executed in you. And he said, why? And Madara was like, my blood is back. He said, no, it's not. As he knocked Madara out, hurry up and took him to the Leaf Village. Tied him up and said, this is the guy who made me do all of this. I'm sorry. I didn't know. Then they you're a demon. You're a demon. You're a demon. And they go, what do you speak of? I'm not a demon. I didn't mean to do this. I never knew all of this was true. I just thought it was some silly thing you told me. Stop. Just stop. They said, why would we lie to you all the time? Wait a minute. They said, how am I supposed to know that? I was born and raised with this guy. And then he pointed at maddara. And they said, well, that's your fault. My fault for being took when I was a baby, and my fault for you guys not being able to track me down. And then they shocked him and said, it really is our fault. Then Naruto said, I should slay you all, but I'm not. At first, you have to kill this man. Then they said, we won't kill you, Naruto. Then Naruto said, you have to. And I'll give you life for it. I kill someone, then I get killed. And then the sage of six paths go to buy and said, Naruto Uzumaki, we'll give you a second chance. And then I was like, oh, the sage of six paths. It's the sage of six paths. And then Naruto was granted a whole bunch of power and said, oh, why do I feel so different? He said, because you're way stronger now. And even though you're bad, I will give you a second chance. He was like, but you have to execute maddara. He said, I was planning on it anyway. And then he grabbed the katana and said, bye. Psych! That all happened, but I'm ending it right now. I really don't care. GG's my, and I'm just, bruh. I'm serious though, bro. I'm kind of tired, no cap. I don't know why I'm so tired though. It's only 6:21. But anyways, I'm kind of tired, no cap. I am gonna make another with sub and like with noties. And check on my gaming channel at Club. Check on my brother's channel, Reese with F. And ASMR looking boy.